25 Fascinating Facts about Titanic. On April 14, 1912, at 11:40 p.m., while making her first journey from Southampton to New York, the RMS Titanic ran aground an iceberg, which eventually caused the ship to sink less than 3 hours later. More than 1,500 people, or nearly two-thirds of those on board, perished when the Titanic sank beneath the surface of the Atlantic Ocean at roughly 2:20 in the morning on April 15. Titanic Facts seeks to provide a thorough and understandable account of the events while also preserving memories of the passengers, crew, survivors, and victims of this great and sad ship. Number 25. The Titanic lies 12,600 feet underwater. Nearly 2.5 miles below the ocean's surface, around 370 miles off the Canadian province of Newfoundland, are the remains of the Titanic. The ship split in two, with a 2,000-foot chasm in the sea floor separating the bow and stern. Number 24. The iceberg that hit the ship may have jutted out 100 feet above water. It's estimated that the iceberg the Titanic struck was between 50 and 100 feet above the water. It is estimated that the iceberg's total length was between 200 and 400 feet. Number 23. Over half the people on board could have survived. If all the space in the lifeboats had been occupied, more than half the passengers could have lived. Number 22. Milton Hershey was supposed to be on the Titanic. The eponymous Hershey's milk chocolate bar creator Milton Hershey sent a $300 payment to secure a cabin on the RMS Titanic. Hershey and his wife missed the outing because work took priority. Number 21. Only 3 of Titanic's 4 funnels worked. The 4 funnels on the sturdy ship were mostly for show, only 3 of them spewed soot. The other was only utilized for ventilation, although it gave the ship a more regal appearance. Number 20. The first lifeboat was released an hour after the iceberg struck. The immediate release of safety lifeboats upon hull breach may seem like simple sense. But it took the Titanic an entire hour before the first lifeboat was let go. Number 19. A specific bacteria is slowly consuming the wreckage. A rust-eating bacteria will finally consume the entirety of the Titanic at the bottom of the ocean. The rusticles visible on the hull of the wreckage are created by a microbe known as Halomonas titanici, which can stick to steel surfaces. Number 18. The ship carried 2,223 passengers and crew. 1,517 of the 2,223 passengers on board the Titanic perished in the iceberg crash. The ship could hold more than 3,500 passengers, so it was not even operating at full capacity. Number 17. Some 100,000 people attended the ship's launch. On May 31, 1911, at Belfast, the massive White Star liner entered the water for the first time. An estimated 100,000 people, or around one-third of Belfast's population, witnessed the barely 1-minute launch. Number 16. The ship was just under 900 feet long. The ship's length was just under 900 feet. The Titanic was the largest ship at the time, measuring 882 feet and 9 inches in length. The Symphony of the Seas from Royal Caribbean, which measures close to 1,200 feet in length, is now the largest cruise ship. Number 15. The chief baker treaded water for 2 hours before being rescued. Charles Jockin, the head baker, is said to have floated on water for 2 hours before being discovered. He asserted that his body was kept warm enough to withstand the sub-freezing water by the enormous amounts of alcohol he had consumed before to the ship sinking. Number 14. The ship burned an estimated 825 tons of coal per day. With a weight of almost 46,000 tons, the Titanic was by no means a lightweight vessel. This enormous vessel heated 29 boilers with an estimated 825 tons of coal consumed per day in 159 furnaces. Number 13. The ship cost over $7 million to construct. Early in the 20th century, the enormous ship's construction cost $7.5 million, or $183.4 million in today's dollars. Number 12. 2 workers died while building the ship. There may have been further fatalities during the ship's construction, but we are confident that 2 employees perished. 15-year-old Samuel Joseph Scott suffered a fatal skull fracture after falling off a ladder. While moving the Titanic from the shipyard to the launch dock, James Dobbins was crushed by timber that collapsed. Number 11. The ship took over 2 years to build. Building the ship took 26 months. The 26,000-ton, iron and steel combined hull was built by construction workers using 3 million rivets. Number 10. 20 horses were needed to transport the main anchor. More over 30,000 pounds, or 16 tons, were in the main anchor of the ship. 20 horses were needed to haul the anchor 2 miles from the Netherton, England, casting site to the Dudley, England, train station in 1911. Number 9. The Titanic's last lunch menu sold for tens of thousands of dollars. On September 30, 2015, a private collector paid $88,000 for the final first-class lunch menu from the Titanic in an online auction. The collector overcame the initial limit price by $18,000. Number 8. Only 23 of the 908 crew on board were female. Only 3 of the 23 female crew members perished in the collision. Tragically, 693 of the 885 male crew members perished with the ship. Number 7. Less than a third of all people aboard the ship survived. Out of the 2,223 passengers and crew, only 705 returned home. First-class passengers made up about 61% of the survivors. Less than 25% of passengers in third class made it out alive. Number 6. The temperature of the sea water was below freezing when the ship sank. Water temperatures were as low as 28 degrees Fahrenheit, according to readings made by Captain Stanley Lord of the SS Californian, a ship that was nearby when the Titanic sank. The body can withstand 45 minutes of subfreezing water. Number 5. 14,000 gallons of drinking water were consumed each day on the ship. For comparison, 16 cups are equal to 1 gallon of water. In other words, 14,000 gallons of water meant that every 24 hours, 2,223 persons each received 224,000 cups of water. Number 4. The Titanic was able to carry 64 lifeboats but only carried 20. There were fewer passengers in many of the lifeboats that were dispatched from the Titanic than they could have carried. Number 3. There were 40,000 fresh eggs aboard the ship. In other words, the Titanic carried about 3,333 dozens of eggs, the bulk of which are thought to have perished together with the ship. Number 2. The SS Californian was nearby when the Titanic sunk. How near the SS Californian was to the Titanic when it collided with the iceberg is still up for debate. Captain Stanley Lord, a Californian, stated that his ship was between 19 and 21 miles away from the damaged vessel. Number 1. The iceberg made a 300-foot gash in the hull of the boat. Titanic. When the crew inspected the site of the hit, they found that 5 compartments had already inundated with water and that the boat was already starting to submerge. Captain Edward Smith had thought the ship had just skimmed over the surface of the iceberg. That's it from this video. Let us know what you think about the list in the comments section below. If you enjoy this video, please like the video and also subscribe to our channel. Thank you.